Bloody A7, mouse review. Let's just hop into the CPS test, like if you ever cared about anything but that. I have a new and an old Roccat Kone XD here, which is considered the best Dragclick mouse by most people for now, and a new and an old A7, which is like... So I can show you how the mice change this time and if a Roccat mouse or an A7 is better in the long-term perspective. With Bloody I practiced for around an hour and a half and I already get that insane Dragclick CPS that's over the limit for an XD. Let me explain what I mean by that. Here I have a Logitech G502 on which they have a CPS limit. It's easy to see if I try to perform one of those new clicking techniques that got discovered last month, because they pushed the most mice to their limit. But I don't even need those for G502 because it's around 25 here. As you can hear, I do 30 to 40 CPS right now, but it shows 21, and the same thing when I click slower at around 21 CPS and when I just drag click 40 or 20 CPS on it. The switches on it can register up to 100, but mouse manufacturers set a threshold to 25 in their software, so their mice seem to not break as fast. As you know, as the switches wear out and the buttons kinda bend and not keep the shape and the distance to the switches as well, the mouse start registering those ghost double clicks when you don't want it and you start fast clicking 18 CPS. Most people don't go over 13 or even 5 CPS, so if mouse doesn't return the clicks that happened in the same 40 milliseconds, which is the 25 CPS limit, it's less likely to register that ghost double click, which improves your experience if you don't actually click that fast, which is not our case. For that reason, when Roccat did this, all of their social network accounts and their forum got spammed by Minecraft players begging to turn it back. That's why even on some of the new Roccat mice, you can still legit get up to 80. That's also why Roccat hates Bedwars players. On some mice, drag or butterfly click starts working when you install the old version of drivers. But for Bloody, in their software, they flexed their patent on so-called infrared sensing, something like laser switches, which is also the reason why other mouse manufacturers can't use those switches. How nice of Bloody. These are what make the mouse so good. This mouse just registers every single click you do on it, even on an XD. You see, at the beginning of the button, it doesn't register the clicks at all. Even on the new one, it's not perfect. Whilst here, it even clicks when you make it sound like this. It's very unusual if you're used to drag clicking on other mice. But at the same time, people report that it never breaks. It never double clicks itself. But does it mean it's the best drag clicking mouse? To get the advantage of it registering every click, you have to actually do that much, and of course it gives much more CPS goal clicking and stuff, but the highest CPS you can achieve in an actual game, you do by drag clicking. And it only benefits you if you do at least 70. Like if you do 70 CPS on an A7, a Roccat mouse would, for example, register 65, 68. But it also might be easier to do on a Roccat mouse because the surface on it is trash for drag clicking. But it can be fixed with a 50-cent tape anyways. There is a good thing about the surface though. When I try to unstick paper on my XD, if it was there for too long, it goes all wrong. But on Bloody it doesn't happen. I can just easily unstick it. Since you're not gonna play on this surface, it might be handy. The aluminum legs of it make it glide super easily, and on top of that they also never wear off. They did on my XD, and it made it impossible for me to make small moves with it with high DPI, especially when I accidentally pushed it a bit too much to the table. If you use low DPI, it's just gonna be that your mouse feet wear off faster. So I had to buy a mouse pad and new mouse feet for it. So I know how important it is for a mouse to glide. So the ones Bloody has are amazing, but not for drag clicking. When you are trying to drag click, every time, since the mouse feels so light, your aim just You just can't hold it properly and your aim moves down a little bit all the time. And the only way to prevent it is to just move it back manually, like if you were shooting the clicks out of your mouse. If you play a lot of CSGO, you're gonna love it, but I don't, so it can be fixed with a 50-cent tape anyways too. DIY perfect Dragclick mouse. As you can see, I have a whole Dragclick research lab on my table. Subscribe to the channel to support science. The shape of it is just trash. You can't find a comfortable grip for it and your hands get tired a bit faster than using other gaming mice, but even people who are used to the mouse say that. But like if Minecraft players ever cared about the shape. Can it be fixed with a few hundred layers of tape though? No, maybe? No. Okay, whatever. The real problem I see with it is the shape and its buttons. When my hand gets a slightest bit wet, you see it becomes unplayable. Like right now, I'm trying to play MLG Rush and it's like... Even if I put a tape on, nothing changes. And let me just switch to an XTD. You feel the difference. Let me just switch to an XTD. You feel the difference. But the thing is, on the old mouse I got from my friend, the buttons kinda wore off and bended a little. So the clicking became softer on it. I can even feel how it takes less effort to me to just perform the click on the old mouse than on the new one. I think you can even hear the difference in the clicking sound. Like the new one. The old one. The new one. The old one. It just feels so much tougher on it. And with the old one, I usually feel almost no difference from an XTD. When my fingers are just way too wet, my long abuse is a bit shorter and I get a bit more CPS short abusing, but overall it's almost the same until my fingers get too wet. But if you get that sweaty, as it was for me when I couldn't click even on the old one, you probably should like take a shower or something. I don't have that problem when I use paper for Dragclicking, but nobody really does that. I don't know, maybe I should make a Dragclick tutorial too. Most of you are gonna use tape, that's just how it works with the tape for me. Maybe tell me if I should teach you to use paper. About the butterfly click on it. I only have my Desert Chroma here to compare and I bought it more than a year ago just for Hypixel minigames. So I knew Hypixel had a 20 CPS limit and I wanted to buy a mouse on which I could do more than 20 CPS. So that I can do 20 with less effort. You see what I was thinking there. It was considered the best butterfly clicking mouse for that time before Modelo appeared. So it worked pretty much. I instantly got like 100 sumo win streak on it and 18 Team Skyward skills. It's not like the mouse instantly makes you a god at the game, it's just that I switched to normal click straight to butterfly and it gave me a big advantage. But to do 20 CPS with low effort, I had to find a good grip on which I could do it with triple clicks. It was more like I was triple clicking with one finger and tap clicking with another, so I wasn't always able to find it. And also I'm used to the claw grip, and when I tried to normal click on it with claw grip, the mouse was just too tough at the beginning of the button, but I am so used to the claw grip normal clicking that I still did that. I wasn't really using my Desert much because I only had it for Hypixel. Most of the time it was just AFK on the other corner of my tables. I thought it would never break. I thought I would buy a Modelo if it does, but I wasn't even using it. It wasn't supposed to happen. What did is that the way how hard it is to normal click on it got even worse. Now it's just impossible to do it at the beginning of the button, and further it's much harder too. The butterfly click still kinda works on it. Never mind, it doesn't. Anyways, on this mouse, I'm just doing this, and I'm getting the exact CPS I needed then. And you see, I'm already doing it for like a minute, and my hand doesn't get tired. I don't start getting 11 CPS because I don't triple click properly, which is insane. I'm definitely not getting a Modelo now. And on top of that, it has the aluminum mouse feet. So when you butterfly click, you often push your mouse into the table too hard, the way it's harder to aim. Of course you can control that and just not do it, but it's one more thing to think about while PvPing, so you won't be distracted by it and you will be much better at PvP. Just for butterfly clicking, this mouse fit is best thing ever. But there's one more thing. The double clicks on it are as fast as on an XTD, you see? Half of the tries I place just one block instead of two with a double click. And it happens because I double click too fast and both clicks are happening in the same tick. That's why I only place one block. Same thing on an XTD, it seems even better on the old one. But on the Detonator, if you know how to double click properly and do it slowly, it happens much less. Whilst on this, it's not really. But when you click twice per tick with a double click, you reduce your knockback as much, but you don't slow yourself down for the other tick. But you can sprint for more. That's also why if you switch from normal click to butterfly click directly, it might take some time to learn how to combo again and vice versa. Because you basically move slower when you butterfly click. Considering that on this mouse the same CPS as on a Detonator is easier to get, it's definitely better for butterfly click because you get lower knockback in return for hit detection, so it's not that important. It's a weird thing, but on Detonator I need at least 180 FPS in-game in order for my butterfly click CPS to register. If I get 140 FPS, my butterfly CPS is already gonna be 16 instead of 20. If I get 100 FPS, I butterfly click 12 CPS. And on the bloody mouse it doesn't happen at all. I get the same 22 even if I limit my frame rate to 30. I guess the whole double click registering process on the Detonator is too fast, but it's definitely something important. I'd say bloody is better than a Detonator in every aspect. Also, this is like the only mouse in the universe on which triple click works. If you haven't heard of triple click, it's basically butterfly clicking with 3 fingers. I'm sure you're gonna find a use for it. About bridging on this mouse. As I said, aluminum mouse feet make it feel light, and you can't guard bridge by drag clicking, taking your hand off the mouse. Don't even try. But guess what? You can fix it with a tape. It feels like a tape should be in the package with this mouse. So stick a tape over the mouse feet so it glides less, and it works as any other mouse. But if you know how to do it by drag clicking without taking your hand off the mouse, you don't need a tape. If you push it a bit into the table, the way it doesn't move, you might have to learn it, but it works pretty well. And on the new one, it's all the same stuff, but just harder. If I had to choose between these, by how hard it is, I'd say the old bloody mouse is the best for it. Then there goes the new XTD. It's almost the same, because the surface and the shape is much better for it, except the clicks are even lighter on the old bloody. Therefore it's a bit easier. Then goes the old XTD. The surface doesn't really matter for short drag click anyways. And then there goes new bloody because the clicks are too tight on it. And for telebridge they're almost the same, except the bloody mouse moves more smoothly, so it's a bit easier to aim. But with the rounded buttons of an XTD, it's a bit easier to drag click for long enough. Overall, all the same stuff applies here. The old bloody mouse is all fine, but on the new one, I can't drag click for long enough with the grip for aiming. So it's kinda hard to do that double jump telebridge. Without drag clicking, it took me quite some time to realize how to triple click on this mouse. It seemed a bit confusing at first, but I already can bridge with triple clicks or even quadruple clicks if I'm lucky enough. It's not harder, just different. For one click god bridge, the same, obviously, that's like the whole point. In conclusion, if you like to abuse the shit out of your mouse, reduce with 60 CPS, clutch 3 blocks with 40, and your gaming might break every month, or you're looking forward to doing so, then you should buy this mouse, because instead of breaking, it only becomes better as you do, and it won't take you much time to make it work as you would like it to. And you won't notice the shape, because you use the long abuse grip anyways. But if you use slow abuse with aim grip, or use my playstyle, and don't want to stick anything on the buttons. A Roccat mouse would be better. A7 is 3 times cheaper than an XD if you don't pay $60 for the delivery, and easier to find in new condition, but there's always Roccat Kone. That's basically the same thing as an XD for the price of a bloody mouse. For Hypixel it's still a Modulo because it's the same butterfly click, but also good for bridging right out of the box. Did you really have to watch a 20-minute video for this? Not exactly. But anyways, I tried to give you as accurate as possible information, unlike on some other bedrest mouse reviews where 50% of the facts are just wrong. I asked a lot of people who have both this and Roccat mouse about pros and cons of both, so you can make the right choice. So I'd really appreciate it if we could reach 10 million subscribers by the next Friday.